In life, no one can exist without relationships. Some bring joy and support, while others can leave you feeling disappointed, even making life more burdensome. There's an old saying, better a near neighbor than a distant relative, emphasizing the importance of those who live around us. However, unlike friends, neighbors are not people we can choose, and that can sometimes lead to unexpected challenges. We all hope to live in a community where neighbors are friendly, pleasant, and supportive, but reality doesn't always meet expectations. Some neighbors can be not only difficult, but also a source of constant trouble and conflict. So how can you maintain peace and harmony when faced with challenging neighbors without compromising your own well-being? Some might think the easiest solution is to sell their house and move away. But is it really that simple to leave a place that has become your home, filled with years of cherished memories? Instead of letting difficult relationships disrupt your life, it's far more valuable to learn how to face and handle them wisely. After all, maintaining composure and responding with tact can not only help you avoid unnecessary stress, but also foster a more harmonious living environment. In this video, we'll share 9 effective strategies to deal with troublesome or difficult neighbors. These lessons come not only from personal experience, but also from someone I deeply admire, my father. He taught me how to handle conflicts with calmness and wisdom, never letting emotions take over, even in the face of challenging situations. If you've ever faced similar issues, join us as we explore these practical and thoughtful solutions. Don't forget to hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and share this video so more people can benefit from these valuable tips. 1. Always stay composed. The first and perhaps most crucial step in dealing with a difficult neighbor is the ability to keep your emotions in check. When provoked, our natural reaction is often to feel angry or want to get even. But as my father used to say, anger doesn't solve anything. It often makes things worse. And who suffers in the end? The decent person does. Dealing with selfish or aggressive people is not your specialty. One specific incident I remember vividly was when our neighbor deliberately parked his car to block our driveway. It was a morning I had to leave early for school, and my dad was in a rush for work. Frustrated, I was ready to knock on the door and demand he move his car immediately. But my father stopped me, saying, "You can address it, but remember to do it calmly and politely." He went outside, knocked gently on the neighbor's door, and politely asked if they could move their car so we could get out. Though it took some time, my father maintained a courteous attitude throughout, without a single harsh word. By staying calm, my father avoided an unnecessary conflict. He understood that a negative reaction would only escalate the situation, leaving us even more frustrated. Keeping one's cool doesn't mean accepting every inconvenience. It's a way to protect your peace of mind and maintain a harmonious environment within your community. 2. Set clear boundaries. Setting clear boundaries helps both parties understand what lines shouldn't be crossed, preventing encroachment into each other's personal space. Sometimes, a neighbor's disruptive behavior or over-involvement isn't intentional. They may simply be unaware that their actions affect others. Boundaries can relate to noise levels, shared spaces, or even privacy in conversations. For example, if a neighbor frequently plays loud music or throws parties late at night, having an honest conversation to establish quiet hours can help reduce unnecessary disturbances. I recall an instance when our neighbor kept placing their trash too close to our window, causing unpleasant smells to drift into our home. My father decided to address it directly. Instead of using harsh words, he politely explained that the odor was affecting our space and asked if they could move the trash can a bit farther away. By establishing a specific boundary for where to place the trash, we avoided further discomfort while maintaining a good relationship with them. A key aspect of setting boundaries is how you communicate them. When conveying boundaries, aim to keep a calm tone and avoid making personal attacks. Focus on clearly explaining the issue and expressing a desire for a solution. Instead of saying, "You're always disturbing us," try saying, "The loud music at night can be bothersome. Would you mind turning down the volume a bit?" This approach avoids a confrontational tone and makes it easier for the other person to be receptive. Boundaries can also apply to situations where a neighbor may be overly friendly or intrusive. For instance, If they frequently knock on your door without a good reason or ask personal questions, it's okay to be polite but direct in letting them know you're uncomfortable with the intrusion. While setting these boundaries isn't always easy, it can help you maintain a comfortable and peaceful living space. Setting and communicating boundaries is a simple yet highly effective way to keep the peace when living near difficult neighbors. Doing this not only protects your own well-being, but also contributes to a harmonious environment where everyone understands and respects each other's limits. 3. Invest in security and noise reduction devices. Imagine living next door to a family that's constantly loud. They play music at high volumes all day and come late at night. The sound of karaoke and laughter seeps through the walls, robbing you of a peaceful night's sleep. Despite polite reminders, the noise doesn't stop. In such a situation, investing in noise-reducing devices can be a lifesaver, helping you restore a sense of calm in your living space. One popular solution is a white noise machine. Devices like the Electrofan Evo or Dome Classic emit soothing sounds like rainfall, ocean waves, or gentle breezes that can mask unwanted noise from outside, creating a more comfortable environment. Many users report that these calming sounds help them sleep deeply without being disturbed by loud music or other sounds from next door. Additionally, these devices are simple to use and adaptable, making them ideal for various types of spaces. Besides, you can install soundproofing materials like thick curtains, area rugs, or soundproof panels on windows and walls. These measures significantly reduce the noise level coming from outside, creating a cozy and quieter living environment. When your space is well insulated, loud noises from parties or other disturbances next door will have much less impact on your daily life. Installing surveillance cameras is another valuable step for safeguarding your space, especially when dealing with neighbors who don't respect boundaries. Cameras not only serve to monitor and capture evidence if any boundary is crossed, but they also discourage potential disruptive behavior. Devices like the Ring doorbell camera or Arlo Pro 4 are easy to set up and can be monitored remotely through a phone app, giving you peace of mind about your home's security even when you're away. Investing in noise reduction and security devices isn't just about protecting property. It's about safeguarding your peace of mind. Knowing you've done everything possible to manage noise and keep your space secure can bring a sense of relief from external disturbances. These tools are not only practical but also serve as a shield for your well-being, allowing you to remain calm without getting drawn into the hassles of neighborly disputes. While we can't control others' behavior, we can control our response. By taking proactive steps to create a peaceful environment, you can feel more comfortable and grounded, no matter what's going on around you. 4. Embrace a model of leading by example. A couple from the suburbs once shared their challenging experience with a difficult neighbor. When they bought their home 3 years ago, they focused mainly on the price and location, neglecting to research the neighborhood atmosphere. Unfortunately, they paid the price for this oversight with ongoing disturbances. As soon as they began renovating their older home, their neighbor continuously created obstacles. First, there were complaints that their construction infringed on shared spaces, even though the renovations were fully within their property line. Then, the neighbor filed complaints, claiming the work caused cracks in their own walls, cracks that clearly had been there for years. This led to construction delays, costing the couple both time and money. After the issue was temporarily resolved, they resumed the renovations, only to face further complaints about noise and dust despite taking precautions. When they wanted to install scaffolding for the shared wall, the neighbor even threatened them aggressively. In the end, they decided to avoid escalating tensions by taking on extra costs to waterproof their home from the inside instead. When the house was finally completed, they hoped for peace, but the strain continued. For instance, when cleaning the shared path, the neighbor would sweep only their half, intentionally brushing debris toward the couple's property. To mitigate this, they decided to install a security camera. But then, the neighbor switched tactics, burning leaves in their yard, sending smoke wafting over and causing discomfort for everyone in the house. One day, in a moment of frustration, the husband used a bucket of water to douse the burning pile of leaves, only for the neighbor to threaten legal action, accusing him of destroying property. This led to another round of local mediation, with repeated attempts at resolution that brought no lasting change. In the face of this difficult situation, the couple chose a different approach. They didn't let anger take over. Instead, they stayed calm, patient, and continued treating their neighbors politely. They greeted them kindly and didn't let the other's negative actions rob them of their own peace. They kept their home neat and clean, maintaining their own standard of respectability. Despite the neighbors' hostility, they installed the camera not to escalate matters, but to protect themselves. And they always opted for courteous mediation whenever disputes arose. This model of leading by example, even when faced with immense challenges, helped the couple preserve their inner peace and kept them from getting entangled in constant conflict. By choosing not to let the neighbor's actions drag them into a cycle of arguments, they built an invisible shield that safeguarded their tranquility. Living by example isn't just about manners. It's a way of affirming that others won't dictate how you feel. In life, we can't always choose the people around us, but we can choose how we respond to them. Leading by example is both a way to respect yourself and a powerful approach to making a positive impact on those around you. You may not change others overnight, but you can maintain your sense of calm and avoid being drawn into negativity. 5. Knowing when to seek help from authorities. Imagine you live next door to someone who not only makes noise late at night, but also frequently throws trash into your yard or even damages your property. Despite having polite conversations and trying to be patient, their behavior persists, growing more severe over time. In such situations, reaching out for help from local bodies, neighborhood councils, or law enforcement can be a reasonable step. These entities can document your concerns, offer intervention measures, and even arrange formal mediation if necessary. Start with straightforward steps, like sending a polite letter to address the issues and gathering concrete evidence, such as video or photos from security cameras if you have them. Keeping a clear record of your neighbor's misconduct not only protects your own rights, but also provides solid proof if the issue needs to be escalated. In many cases, local authorities can step in to conduct checks, issue reminders to your neighbor, or impose fines for violations related to noise, sanitation, or communal safety. Seeking help from authorities doesn't mean you're giving up on civility. It's a way to ensure that respect and safety are upheld within the community. Knowing when to call for outside assistance is a sign of wisdom, allowing you to safeguard your peace of mind rather than enduring ongoing negativity or trying to handle everything alone. Sometimes, the presence of a third party can prompt others to think twice and act more considerately. Remember, asking for intervention isn't about acting out of anger, but rather taking a sensible step when self-resolution hasn't worked. Knowing when to seek assistance shows that you're maturely protecting your own well-being while working towards a safe and harmonious living environment. 6. Acceptance and learning to let go. Sometimes, the best way to deal with a troublesome neighbor is to accept the situation and learn to let go. Not everyone is willing to change, and not every situation can be fully resolved in the way we might hope. After attempts at conversation, setting boundaries, and even reaching out to authorities, you may still find yourself at a dead end. At this point, accepting the circumstances and letting go of unrealistic expectations can help preserve your inner peace. Imagine you live next to someone who constantly parks their car in shared access areas, blocking your way in and out, even after multiple reminders. Initially, frustration might build up, and you may try talking to them or reaching out to your community manager. However, even if there's some temporary improvement, the behavior returns, and your irritation remains. In this situation, rather than letting negative emotions consume your thoughts, learning to let go and accept a bit of inconvenience can be the best way to maintain your peace of mind. Letting go doesn't mean you're passively tolerating the situation. It means shifting your focus away from stressors that you cannot change, rather than investing your energy in frustration or complaints. Focus on areas of life where you have control. Rearrange your living space to reduce your neighbor's impact. Build relaxation habits like meditation, reading, or visiting other spots in your neighborhood that bring you joy. These actions help you stay balanced and avoid being caught up in unnecessary stress. Acceptance and letting go is a way of granting yourself the right to peace. even when external circumstances aren't ideal. Instead of trying to control everything, you learn to manage your own reactions to undesirable situations. Life may not always go the way we plan, but maintaining inner tranquility is something you can choose. When you choose acceptance and letting go, you're freeing yourself from the grip of uncontrollable expectations. Living peacefully despite your surroundings isn't about forfeiting your rights. It's about keeping your spirit steady in the face of challenges. It's a quiet strength that allows you to feel free and unburdened, no matter how your neighbor acts or how chaotic the world outside may seem. 7. Open and polite communication. Imagine living next to a neighbor with a dog that's not well managed. The dog frequently barks loudly, especially early in the morning or late at night, disturbing the peace for you and others in the neighborhood. Even more frustrating, the dog often roams freely, leaving its waste on the shared walkway or near your gate, creating an inconvenience and lowering the quality of life. In a situation like this, rather than reacting harshly or openly complaining, try approaching your neighbor with openness and courtesy. You might wait for a suitable time, such as when they're out walking their dog and seem relaxed, to start a friendly conversation. Begin by making positive remarks about the neighborhood or sharing what you appreciate about the community. Then, gently transition to the issue of the dog, mentioning that you've noticed it occasionally relieving itself on the shared walkway. You could suggest a mutually agreeable solution, like keeping the dog in certain areas or walking it in places where it's less disruptive to others. This approach not only allows you to address the issue, but also shows your neighbor that you genuinely care about maintaining a good relationship. Instead of criticism or escalating tension, you're creating a space where both sides can comfortably work toward a solution. Friendly language like, "We really love your dog, but sometimes I notice it leaves waste on the walkway. Do you think we could find a better spot for it?" can make your message more palatable. Sometimes, open communication doesn't just help resolve the issue. It also helps you manage your own emotions. You're less likely to get swept up in negative feelings or anger. This approach also creates a positive image of you as someone who values respect and harmony, even when faced with challenging situations. Equally important in communication is the ability to listen. It's possible your neighbor may be struggling to manage the dog or isn't fully aware of the issues it's causing. An open conversation can help them understand the situation while giving them a chance to share any difficulties they're experiencing. Staying calm, willing to listen, and open to finding solutions are the best ways to maintain peace without resorting to confrontation or conflict. 8. Make an effort to build a good relationship from the start. Building a positive relationship with your neighbors from the very beginning is a simple yet highly effective way to prevent issues down the line. By approaching the relationship with openness, friendliness, and respect, you're not only creating a good impression, but also laying the groundwork for a harmonious living environment. Sometimes, a friendly greeting in the morning or a few lighthearted conversations can be enough to break down barriers and build trust. Show that you respect their space and hope for a good relationship between both sides. A friendly relationship from the outset can serve as a valuable buffer if misunderstandings or minor inconveniences arise in the future. When both sides are familiar and comfortable with each other, communication flows more smoothly, helping you avoid unnecessary conflicts. 9. Knowing when it's time to move on. If all your efforts to maintain peace and build a good relationship with your neighbors still fail to bring the tranquility you're seeking, it might be time to consider moving to find that inner calm. Sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't change the situation or someone else's behavior, but what you can do is choose a path that leads you to a place where your heart feels at peace and free from the worries that come with difficult neighbors. Moving on doesn't mean giving up. It's a way of choosing self-care. If the situation has started to impact your quality of life, relocating can be a positive new beginning, where you can breathe easier and enjoy the simple joys of peace and quiet. Remember, you deserve a space that feels truly yours, where you can be yourself without the burden of unnecessary tension. Accepting that not all relationships are meant to be harmonious can bring you peace. Leaving isn't always about walking away. It's about opening a door to live a balanced and more tranquil life. Moving forward isn't just about escaping invisible pressures. It's a resilient choice, choosing a direction that leads to a place where you truly feel secure and whole. Today, neighborly relationships seem to be growing distant and less connected. In modern life, as people face work demands, financial pressures, and busy routines, there's little time left for connecting or building strong bonds with neighbors. Many families work long hours, sometimes with both partners holding full-time jobs to maintain a stable lifestyle. And when they come home, they crave solitude rather than socializing. Commutes in urban areas, work pressures, and the need to rest on weekends leave families with fewer opportunities to interact with their neighbors. Additionally, modern technology has created digital communication channels, allowing people to connect with family, friends, and communities via social media. While beneficial, it has also, perhaps unintentionally, pushed neighbors further apart. Instead of chatting with their neighbors, many people now choose to spend their time online, interacting with loved ones or distant friends. Consequently, neighborly relationships have gradually lost their warmth, giving way to a more private, individual-focused lifestyle. With these changes, the concept of neighborly support, once a vital community value, is now increasingly rare. The traditional neighborly bond is fading, replaced by a sense of unfamiliarity within one's own living space. Disagreements between neighbors are becoming more common as these bonds weaken. For instance, some people feel frustrated when their neighbors barbecue outside, filling the air with smoke and strong odors, or when someone constantly trims their trees, letting leaves and branches litter the adjacent yard. Others complain about neighbors who leave bright outdoor lights on all night, disturbing sleep and infringing on their sense of privacy. In dense urban areas, issues like hanging laundry or storing items on balconies, which can affect the shared view or aesthetic of the area, often lead to tension. Sometimes, even minor issues like neglecting to clean up a shared space after use or leaving children's bikes in common walkways can spark disputes. These seemingly small issues, when met without empathy and understanding, can become a source of tension, making people feel uneasy in their own homes. A neighborly relationship isn't just about living close to someone. It's a core part of community and society. Historically, when villages and towns were smaller and people lived closely together, neighbors were the ones who shared life's joys and sorrows, helping each other through hard times. In many cultures, the spirit of mutual aid among neighbors is seen as a sign of kindness, forming bonds that go beyond family ties. The saying, "a good neighbor is better than a distant relative," captures this well, suggesting that the people nearby are often the ones who support you most in times of need. Good neighborly relations lay the foundation for a harmonious and peaceful life. Our connection with neighbors also reflects deep cultural values like sharing, compassion, and community spirit. When we open our hearts and support each other, our living spaces become more welcoming, and everyone feels more at ease. Moreover, a community with close-knit neighbors often overflows with warmth and kindness, creating lasting memories and enduring bonds. When conflicts or misunderstandings arise, goodwill, patience, and a forgiving spirit can help smooth things over. In the modern world, even as life speeds up and technology creates distance, we can still choose to hold on to these traditional values by striving to create a friendly living environment. Through small gestures like greetings, lending a helping hand, or simply showing understanding, we can preserve the essence of neighborly goodwill amidst our busy lives. In conclusion, regardless of the era, maintaining good relationships with neighbors remains a cornerstone of peace and happiness in life. A strong bond with neighbors not only brings a sense of security but also fosters a deeper appreciation for the value of community, a tradition that has connected people for generations. Building and nurturing harmony with neighbors isn't just about safeguarding your own peace. It's about contributing to a thriving, respectful, and supportive community where everyone feels valued and heard. Good neighbors don't just provide help during tough times, they bring joy, trust, and a sense of belonging to our daily lives. However, when faced with difficult neighbors, approaching the situation with tact, patience, and positivity can turn challenges into opportunities for growth and improvement. By making even small efforts, we can collectively create better, more harmonious living environments for everyone. If you have interesting stories, valuable experiences, or personal insights about relationships with your neighbors, please share them in the comments below. Your input can inspire and offer meaningful lessons to others in this community. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to ensure you don't miss any of our valuable content. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in upcoming videos. Until then, may you always find joy and peace with the neighbors around you.